Imagine being robbed, threatened, or wronged by someone. Who's the first person you think of for help? The police, sworn by law to protect you. But what if those very cops turn out to be murderers? Today we're diving into the shocking stories of killer cops who believed they were above the law until the truth finally caught up with them. Brace yourself as we dive into our first case, transporting you back to 1983 in London, England. Imagine the unsettling scene. Residents of an apartment complex were baffled by their consistently clogged toilets. A plumber was called in to investigate, expecting a routine fix, but what he found was far from ordinary. To his horror, the pipes weren't just blocked, they were lined with something chillingly unnatural: human flesh.
And he looked down in the drains beneath the house and he saw what he knew was not what should be there.
He observed what he said looked like some butcher's prepared meat.
Your mind must be overflowing with questions. How did this happen? Who was responsible? What's the full story? Well, let's uncover the mastermind behind these gruesome killings. The investigation led police to a flat belonging to Dennis Nilsen, a British Army veteran who briefly worked as a police officer in 1974. Further remains were found in Nilsen's flat, and he was soon arrested. Although he initially confessed, he later retracted his statement.
As the 12 at Melrose Avenue. But unlike his previous residence, Nielsen's top-floor flat had no space under the floorboards.
Pieces of another were in the wardrobe in black bags.
Scotland Yard launched its biggest murder investigation today after a pathologist confirmed that human remains found in a sewer outlet were parts of 3 bodies.
And then an hour later, I was listening more intently, and then they said in Cranley Gardens, and it was the house.
If you're thinking it was just one killing, think again. This man is known to have murdered around 16 victims. He lured them to his home through deceit, typically with the promise of alcohol or shelter.
Melrose Avenue was a very old kind of building. It had lots of furniture in it that lots of had been bought during the war, really. It was quite old. The carpets weren't very nice, and it was quite a run-down building.
1:10 last night, son asleep, twink over there, me here. What happens? Crash, bang, what? Have a look, move the camera up there, have a look at that. Right, look at the state of that, whole bloody ceiling falls down.
In the most disturbing part of his crimes, Nilsen admitted to masturbating while viewing the nude bodies of several of his victims and engaging in sexual acts with the bodies of 6 of them. After hearing this, it's hard not to question our trust in the police, don't you think? Let's now head towards cases where officers murdered innocent lives on duty. Our next case revolves around Melissa Perez, who lived in San Antonio, Texas, when news broke of her being accused of causing a disturbance by destroying property at an apartment complex on the 6200 block of Old Pearsall Road in San Antonio. The cops rushed to the scene.
Hey, lady, get over here. Get over here.
They spotted her on the street, and when the officers attempted to identify her, she quickly headed toward her apartment. What happened next was both strange and disturbing. Take a look.
You're gonna get shot!
Shoot me! You ain't got no warrant!
Door!
No!
Hey!
The officers jumped over the patio railing, and without attempting to question her or learn more about the situation, they had their guns drawn. Why were they so aggressive?
You ain't got no warrant!
Let's go. Move. Go. Hey, watch out,
Hey, watch out! Hey!
Back up!
Here's another angle to the scene.
You ain't got no warrant!
Go. Hey, watch out.
Hey, watch out! Hey!
Back up.
Shockingly, they opened fire. The tragic reality was that Melissa Perez was mentally ill. She managed to defend herself with a hammer, but was it justified or necessary for the officers to use their weapons? This was a cold-blooded atrocity against a vulnerable woman. Officers Eleazar Alejandro and Sergeant Alfred Flores were charged with murder, while a third officer, Nathaniel Villalobos, was charged with aggravated assault. Next up, we have the heartbreaking tale of a mother whose son was shot by a female officer. Witness how restless and agitated she felt after being deprived of her son's well-being by the very people meant to protect him.
Now, please. He's over 20.
I don't know what's going on.
I know what's going on.
What happened?
He FaceTime live. Ma'am, I'm going to get you somebody to talk to. I'm going to get you someone to talk to. Okay? But I just can't have you going over there right now, okay?
Ma'am, my name is Mark. What is your name? Can I have you sit on the ledge here?
You guys shot him. Why?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
Why? Because he had a warrant. Are you serious? I was here. I watched it.
Can you just sit down? Tell me what's going on, because I wasn't here.
No. Where's the girl that was in the car with him? You guys made her hang up Facebook Live so you could kill my son. That's pretty pathetic. What is your name?
But don't jump to conclusions just yet. We're here to break down the case from the beginning. This is the story of Katie Bryant and her son, Dante Wright, who was stopped by Brooklyn Center Police for a minor traffic violation. The officers discovered he had an expired registration tag and an air freshener hanging from his rearview mirror, which is illegal in Minnesota. Additionally, they found an outstanding warrant against him for carrying a handgun in public without a state permit. The young man was ordered to step out of the car. Now, see what happens next.
You're under arrest, Dante. Just stay back.
I need you. Please stop.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
I shot him. Oh my God.
Okay. Kim, sit down.
Tragically, after being shot in the chest, Dante was unable to drive and crashed down the lane.
Katie knew that her son had been shot because his girlfriend was with him at the time and had Facebooked her, which let her have at least some account of what happened, as officers on the scene were of no help.
This heartbreaking moment was recorded by his girlfriend, who went live on Facebook. At the scene of the accident, his mother was left feeling helpless as the officers claimed they were unaware of the situation.
My name is Katie Bryant. My son's name is Dante Wright. You guys already know that. I don't. Katie Bryant. It was a high-speed chase? Bryant? How? And then what's your son's name? Dante Wright. It was not a high-speed chase. You guys shot him in a pullover traffic. I didn't do anything, ma'am. Yeah, you did. He was laying in his front seat dead. His girlfriend Facebooked me. How did his car get smashed? What's his name again? Dante Wright. Wright? Is it W-R-I-G-H-T? W-I-G-H-T. Okay. Is it Katie? Yeah. Bryant. Yeah. All right. Just wait a second here, ma'am.
I need you to just sit down, please.
Ma'am?
Please sit down. Okay, so I wasn't here. You said there was a traffic stop and they shot
They
him?
pulled him over, and he said, "Mom, do you have a warrant?" I said, "I don't know." They asked him to get out of the car. He got out of the car, and they said, "Wait, stop." They said, "Stop." And then she goes, and then they shot him, and he fell back in the seat. And he was in the driver's seat, and she said, they shot him. And I said, "What do you mean they shot him?" She said, "Yeah." And then they he told her to hang up, and that was it. I don't know nothing else. So I had to call you guys to find out where this happened.
I really don't know more because I just came because I heard there was trouble.
Why is my car smashed up?
I don't know.
I don't know.
This deputy here wasn't. We weren't here, but.
I'm Is he alive? I do not know the condition. I don't know. Are you guys serious? What are you talking to me for then?
I'm going to find out.
We're going to find out, but we have to wait and find out who's involved and who's in charge and get you in contact with the people that know what's going on.
The officer involved, Kim Porter, resigned 2 days after the incident. She claimed she couldn't differentiate between her taser and her gun in the heat of the moment. In fact, she couldn't have been reaching for her taser at all, as it's against department policy to tase a fleeing suspect. As a result, she was charged with first and second-degree manslaughter. Though justice was served, the loss of a young boy is an irreparable tragedy for any mother. Rolling through our list of another infamous serial killer, we have Joseph James DAngelo, the original Night Stalker who terrorized California. You may know him by his more notorious nickname, the Golden State Killer. If not, we're here to reveal the shocking truth that will leave you stunned. DAngelo was once a burglary unit police officer in Exeter, later serving in Auburn and other places. But what earned him a place on our list? To be specific about his horrific crimes, in 2020, DAngelo pleaded guilty to 13 murders and 13 kidnappings, resulting in multiple life sentences. He was known for meticulously planning his attacks, often stalking his victims for days or even weeks, learning their routines and finding ways to break into their homes.
Break into a house with a gun, a house with a man and a woman. He would tie them up, tell the man, I'm going to put plates on your back, into another room and sexually assault her. Then he would go through the house for however much time, eating.
To make matters worse, DAngelo is responsible for at least 13 murders, 51 assaults, and 120 burglaries. He was, without a doubt, a cruel monster in a human form.
Is moving all across Northern California, committing numerous sexual assaults, over 50 sexual assaults.
Here, he was called the East Area Rapist.
The police are saying lock up tight. Sacramento's infamous East Area Rapist may still be in town.
The survivors of DAngelo's crimes and the families of his victims suffered immense trauma. Many lived in fear for decades, not knowing if the man who attacked them would ever be caught. So, how was he finally captured? In April 2018, at the age of 72, DAngelo was arrested after investigators used a genealogy website to match DNA from crime scenes to one of his relatives. It's almost unbelievable, but this breakthrough in forensic science was key to solving a case that had gone cold for over 30 years.
But having the unknown killer's DNA wasn't enough. They needed to match it to a known sample.
Here we have an apology from him for his deeds in the courtroom.
I've listened to all your statements, each one of them. And I'm truly sorry to everyone I've hurt. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Before moving on to our next case, we have a question for you. If a person is suspected of a crime, don't you think it's the duty of the police to protect them while abiding by the law? Share your thoughts in the comments. And yes, you guessed it right. Our next case revolves around this very issue. Meet Rios Gonzalez, a woman suspected of carrying a firearm in her pickup truck.
There may still be a firearm in the vehicle. I don't know if you guys have been through it yet. You got it?
I got a holster here. No, we have not gone through it.
We weren't sure if she threw it or if it's still hidden in the vehicle somewhere. It took her a long time to pull over, and Platteville said he did not see anything leave the vehicle.
Right now, I just need to find out who she is so we can deal with that aspect of it.
The officers were busy conducting their search operation. But do you know where the suspect was placed during this time? Take a look.
Stop right there. Get down on one knee and then the other.
I got cuffs.
Go ahead.
Good? Keep your hands above your head.
Don't move.
What's going on? Ma'am, what's going on? I'll tell you in a second. Take a seat. I'm so confused. Can I get my cell phone? I will get your cell phone for you. Take a seat.
The car, which belonged to the officers, was parked on railway tracks. She was left all alone in the car, with little to no safety if a train were to arrive. The irresponsible officers completely disregarded the suspect's safety. Unfortunately, our worst fears were realized.
Is that Hart?
No, that's time check. Oh my god!
Move your car! Stay back!
Patrol car was just hit by a train. Dispatch, Central 346. Status medical emergent. The suspect was in the vehicle that was hit by the train.
The scene is truly horrifying. The cops should be held accountable for their reckless behavior. Next, we delve into the dark tale of Gerard John Schaefer Jr., a police officer whose life of crime shocked the nation. Convicted in 1972 for the brutal murder and mutilation of 2 teenage girls in Port St. Lucie, Florida, Schaefer's horrific actions were only the beginning. Suspected of up to 26 murders, his criminal record paints a chilling picture of a man who betrayed his badge in the most horrifying way. Schaefer's journey to infamy began not in the shadows, but in the classroom. Before donning his police uniform, he worked as a geography teacher. In September 1971, he transitioned to law enforcement, joining the Broward County Police Department. By the end of the year, he was serving as a patrolman at just 25 years old. On July 21, 1972, Schaefer, while on duty, lured teenage hitchhikers Nancy Trotter and Paula Wells with the promise of a ride to Jensen Beach. Instead, he drove them to a secluded area where he brutally restrained them, binding them to trees, threatening them with rape and murder. Thankfully, the girls managed to escape, leading to Schaefer's arrest.
Schaefer tells his chief he'd wanted to teach 2 female hitchhikers about the dangers of accepting lifts with strangers. But in trying to do the right thing, he's overstepped the mark.
I was trying to teach them a lesson.
He told me he took the girls into the woods and tied them up. He left them there so that they would feel some fear.
To a spot he has specially prepared.
After he tied their hands, he tied a noose around their necks and tied that to the limbs of the tree.
Schaefer forces Nancy and Paula to balance on the mangrove tree's slippery roots. One misstep and they'll die. While the girls' lives hang in the balance, Schaefer torments and molests them. Then, suddenly he departs, leaving the hitchhikers balancing on the roots. Before he goes, he tells the pair what will happen to them when he returns. Nothing prepares him for what he's about to discover. Out on Hutchinson Island, Crowder finds the girls running for their lives. They are terrified.
When I got out to that area...
Despite his capture, Schaefer's reign of terror continued. After being released on bail, he resumed his killing spree, eventually leading to the murder of 2 teenage girls. In 1973, after spending 6 months in jail for kidnapping, he was tried and convicted for these slayings. Schaefer was sentenced to 2 life terms, without the possibility of parole. His story didn't end there. Schaefer's gruesome legacy was a haunting reminder of how someone sworn to protect could become a predator. In 1995, he met a violent end in prison, but his crimes left a lasting impact on the communities he devastated. Now, that's all for today. As we wrap up this video, the cases we've explored reveal the chilling reality that evil can lurk behind any badge. While justice was served in these cases, the scars left behind are a somber reminder of the need for vigilance and accountability. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content. And as always, share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.